Let's talk two of Tom Hardy's best body transformations ever, Bronson and Bane. Question, how did Tom Hardy get so big so quickly? Let me know in the comments below. What are you thinking? Is it just movie, star, genetics? So first things first, we know that Tom Hardy's not really a fan of his body transformations.
I'm a professional coward and couch potato. Getting into a gym is something that I'm not comfortable with at all, to be honest. So I was very concerned by the whole thing. It was quite alarming. The amount of exercise that was demanded, and athleticism and discipline and structure wasn't up my alley at all, whatsoever.
I have a black belt in origami, you know, and I don't even have a black belt in origami. I have a black belt in sitting on my couch, you know, watching daytime television and maybe playing a bit of Xbox. That's about the wizardry of my athleticism. This really tested me. Joel, on the other hand, is an athlete, so, you know, and me, not at all.
Let's talk Bronson. When Tom Hardy was talking about the training, he said, I had to gain around 42 pounds overall and no drugs. That's important. Training-wise, it was all bodyweight resistance, all things you could do in a prison. I used different types of press-ups, pull-ups, dips, crunches, and different ab exercises. I pushed a lot of floor, and I did some weight exercises as well to bulk up, mainly my chest and arms. My approach was to do lots of repetitions in order to send messages to my muscles. This helps them to start to grow in a way that you can't make them in a gym. To become Charlie Bronson, I had to put on a lot of weight on my forearms, chest and neck. By the time I'd finished, my legs looked like those of a stork in comparison to the top half of my body.
I've sort of fluctuated between up and down between 3 stone, lighter and heavier in the last 2 years, really, which isn't really that sensible unless you do it properly. But I did with the help of a nutritionist and Lisa Jeans on Stewart, and so I was actually really, really fit when I lost all the weight on that. The second time round when I had to put the weight on for Charlie, I worked again with my trainer Peanut, and we put it on in 5 weeks. But you know, he was my gym, as it were, and pushed the floor, and it goes on very quickly. You can send signals to your muscles, and they remember the last time you were there.
When Tom Hardy was talking about his diet for Bronson, he did break one big rule.
Well, there's sensible ways, right? And then there's naughty way. And that was naughty way.
And the rule he broke was...
Chocolate.
Clean eating. Obviously.
Chocolate and lots of pizza.
Tom Hardy said, my staple was chicken and rice. But then I'd have pizza, chips, ice cream, fizzy drinks and creatine too. It's not something I'd recommend, but I had to put the weight on. I was 147 pounds to start with, and I had 5 weeks to put the weight on, so it was very quick. I needed to put a layer of fat on my body because Bronson, when he was younger, was a big guy, a brawler. My diet was lenient as we weren't going for the Bruce Lee look and we weren't going for the cut.
I put on just over 2.5 stone in 5 weeks, and a lot of it was eating chicken, pushing the floor and carrying my friend Peanut up and down the stairs, not for hours, which is just merciless and uncomfortable. But, you know, the results were fun, you know, and to see the body change and relatively quickly, actually, was good fun, you know, and required. It was a necessity as well. I thought 6'3", wide as a mountain, tree trunk legs. No, 5'9", my height. And he was 13 stone when he was 30. This is doable. I was 10.5 stone prior to initially doing the film. I just ate a lot of steak, you know what I mean, and a lot of chicken. The problem with Charlie is I need to put on a lot of weight in 5 weeks. I started eating a lot of chicken and chips and ice cream and, you know, like creatine, and pushing a lot of floor and pushing a lot of weights, and I put on no drugs, and I put on 2.5 stone, just on a 3 stone in 5 weeks. It was fat as well, you know what I mean, because he's a brawler's body. I had to get the brawler's body.
To sum it up, I don't think Tom Hardy enjoyed the transformation process.
I've really f***ed my body up, to be quite honest. It was stupid. I'm paying for that now.
Next up, let's talk The Dark Knight Rises, where Tom Hardy got even bigger than Bronson to play Bane.
Well, it was the same again, and then another half a stone, so a bit more fat and no cardio. I look like the Pillsbury Doughboy, or whatever it's called, the Oreo cookie look.
If we look closely, if we really study the photographs, I was really overweight. I was just bald and slightly porky with pencil arms. But no, that's the magic of lighting and stuff.
Tom Hardy got up to 190 pounds to play Bane. Talking about getting big for Bane, Tom Hardy said, my preparation for Bane was more about building and packing on density and muscle. It was heavy weights and circuits throughout the day. We did 4 sessions a day and it was focused on strength.
When I saw him first time when I got to LA, we were doing the screen test and was trying on the Bane outfit. And I put on some weight and I felt strong and I'd been training, and I saw Christian sat there and he didn't have a t-shirt, just a vest on. And I saw his arms and I looked at him and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna walk this. I was like, how are you? Good, lovely to meet you. He said, hello Tom, how are you? And I sat down, I got changed into my outfit. And then this huge looming figure turned up on set, do you know what I mean? It was about 10 foot tall and about 8 foot wide with huge pointy ears.
When Tom Hardy was talking about his diet to get jacked for Bane, it was clear it wasn't the cleanest.
Actually, I ate a lot. I was not much heavier than I am now, but I just ate more pizza on top of it. And then they shoot from low to make you look big. People would pull up on their motorbikes and lift the lids and go, I always thought you were bigger, mate. It took 3 or 4 months of training and lifting and eating lots of pizza, you know, and it wasn't great for my heart. But that's not the point, is it? The point is to look as big as possible. I wore 2 or 3 pairs of trousers as well. I have really skinny legs.
Tom Hardy said, when I played Bane, there was less emphasis on being cut, so my diet wasn't as strict as it was in Warrior, which, by the way, we know he wasn't a fan of that Warrior diet.
We were carb depleting as well, so we were eating chicken and broccoli all day, nothing else, not out sweets. It was rubbish, man. It was horrible. It was unnecessary, and I don't know why anybody does it for a living.
Just chicken and broccoli. Yeah, Tom Hardy really doesn't like not having his carbs.
What we did was what they call carb deplete during them. So we weren't eating any carbohydrates. We were eating just chicken and broccoli, and then, you know, basically working out for 16 hours a day. So we were all in a really bad mood, as you can imagine. And if I'd have seen any of that coming in the first place, then, you know, maybe I'd have done, I wouldn't be here today.
Tom Hardy went on to say, there was lots of chicken and protein, but more fat and carbs. It wasn't nearly as strict as I wasn't trying to get the cuts everywhere.
For Bane, I had to put on weight, and I want to prove how big I can look when the props are right-sized.
So, what do you think about Tom Hardy's Bronson and Bane transformations? I mean, Tom Hardy got jacked very, very quickly. Do you think this would work for you, or do you think Tom Hardy just has those movie star genetics? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to get ripped like a Hollywood movie star, then you need to get on the program to get your workout and nutrition on point. Link in the description.